that because the way he was just like moving, like it looked like he was drowsy. So either way, enough of that. So either way, so it's been 3 nights in a row where it's been super rough. So
have kids, people. They're fun.
Yeah, I mean, other than that, he's pretty awesome. So I mean, he's pretty cool and calm. He doesn't really start shit.
He doesn't start shit yet.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, for being a 2, he's almost gonna be 2, but he throws his tantrum, but it's like he fakes it.
Yeah.
Like he knows he's faking it, and then he immediately like he gives you just a little like and he like throws himself to the ground like he's so dramatic, and then he'll get right up. He'll like kind of sit there, pause for a minute. And then he'll like get up and go run and get a toy.
Is he like, did the Academy Award go to me or what?
Yeah, pretty much. And that's how he does it every time. He just, there's rare occasions where he's just like, he doesn't lash out. He doesn't do any of that stuff. Or he doesn't bite people. But he does kick his feet though. That's funny as hell. When you pick him up and you're just like, you can't get that. And he'll like kick his feet downward, both of his feet. It's so crazy. It's funny as hell.
That's good. The bite thing's real good that he doesn't do that.
Mm-hmm. Well, really, I mean, to be honest, I think he's spoiled. I mean, he's super spoiled. I'm really affectionate with him. He fucking hates it. Every morning. I'll try to count his toes and count his fingers. Kind of just try to sit next to him, and he fucking pushes me off, and he he doesn't slap me. Let me just phrase that. But yeah. So I try to hang out with him, just sit next to him, and he'll like scoot over. He likes his personal space. So it's really weird. But yeah, that's the rundown lately, guys, on my adventure with my son being sick. But welcome to the podcast. And to me and Aaron. Yeah, and me and Aaron are doing it today. I think we have a pretty good topic today. It's very good. I checked up updates this morning, so nothing has really changed, but other than so today's topic, what we're talking about is Steam got banned in China. Man, that is a heavy hitter. And China decided to launch their own Steam with their own content, and they only kept 2 games on there. I wrote them down here.
Dota 2 and CSGO.
Yep, CSGO. So those are the only 2 that they kept. But for the most part, they they just put the ban on Steam. They said it was the games. One reporter said is because they had like it's like ethical violations. They used a different word for it. I don't
know. The one thing that pissed me off.
That was what the article said this morning.
Because I was looking at that too. The one thing that really pissed me off is this part here, where it starts to talk about, and I'll just read it real quick.
Well, read the front part of that article that I sent you.
Yeah,
the one that's in the.
Is this? You mean the Steam has reportedly been banned in China? No,
the one right under here.
That paragraph?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that better be good. So everyone kind of has a good idea. So players in China are reporting that the Steam storefront and all of Steam community pages have been blacklisted, meaning they are no longer accessible in the country. Back in February, Steam China launched with a much smaller collection of games in the sale. The site is still up and running, but Steam Global, the full Steam site with far more games and offers, have been taken offline in the country on Christmas Day.
Yeah, that's fucking insane. Like I didn't even check the stocks on it, and this was reported on the 25th. So it's been 6 days in. I don't know how the shares for Steam is doing, but if you continue to read the article, it mentions a lot about how a majority of Steam's customers come from China, and I think that's the majority of just gamers in general come from China. I didn't realize it. I thought I did hear that at one point a while back, how China has kind of like,
I was about to say,
one of the bigger consumers.
There is no stock for Steam.
There's no stock for. I don't know.
No, it's not. No, I thought it was. I double checked. It's not a publicly traded company.
Oh no.
No.
Okay.
Gabe wants to keep it private.
Oh well, shit. Well then, I didn't know that. That's crazy. That's very.
Because if they had stonks, I wanted to check. I wanted to see if that, because if that was the case, they would have been fucked. They would, like, any shareholders would have been fucked.
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. Because Steam is huge, man. It's a really big company. You think they wouldn't have shareholders at all?
I don't know, but Gabe's still the CEO, and I think Gabe's a good guy. I really do. I think he's.
Whoa, you make it sound like people say he's not a good guy.
No, well, some people will have opinions, but he's one of the few CEOs that, like, look at fucking Blizzard and all these other game companies that are getting accused for sexual assault.
Oh, you're talking about that.
And you don't hear shit come from there, or at least not that I recall. I could be wrong on some stuff, but the big thing with that Steam thing too, when you were talking about a lot of their players, they talk about in this article. About how Call of Duty Mobile has more players on it,
more Chinese
China,
players,
than the whole world combined.
Yeah, that's fucking.
And I'm
nuts.
like, that's that popular. From the game is just that popular. It blows my mind.
Yeah, maybe it's more except like you have more access to it and easier to get on. Say if they're on your train ride or you're on your most of bus rides or something, you're just fucking playing the game, getting a quick game in. So I think if like if Apex or like Fortnite and stuff was available on mobile, I guarantee you they'll be about the same par.
Yeah, they said that too. That was banned.
PUBG got on mobile for a while back, and that was decently. Yeah, because they had a surge on that.
Once that mobile came out, I was still playing that when it was on PC, and Chinese players cheating all the time was a problem. That's where majority of the cheaters came from, and when they came out with an anti-cheat, supposedly they were talking about how many people were from China that were playing.
Yeah,
so it's just crazy that it makes sense, and yet it kind of doesn't at the same time for me. How many Chinese players are in all these games comparative when they say that statistic in comparison to the whole world playing,
Yeah, it's fucking nuts, man. Their population is massive. It's huge, massive. And again, there's a whole cult, like, they kind of screwed themselves when they fucking decided to say, hey, you can only have one kid, and everybody wanted a boy, and there's no girls. I think it'd be typically, if there was as much girls than boys, I think you would see a different result in gaming. That's my personal opinion, just because, let's think about that. Guys like girls. So typically if you had availability to date a girl or go hang out with a girl, I would think you would most likely want to go hang out with a girl than play video games, but that's just my opinion. Again, but if you don't have that option and you're just a shut-in and there's so many people in that country, the only option is to play a video game.
Yeah.
Okay, what am I going to do? I'm going to watch TV? Nah, that's boring. Let me just play some video games. There's a lot of males over there, and a lot of males like to play video games.
You said something I had a thought the other day about where we've come as a world and a society, and this is not like no deep existential take on this or nothing, just something simple, but like you were just talking about like how boring it can be just watching TV and shit like that.
Yeah,
and how
it's the same boring shit sometimes.
Yeah, and I was just thinking like, we have every form of entertainment at our fingertips on the phone, Switch, PC, whatever. And I was just thinking, because we just finished watching The Witcher, the season 2, and I was just thinking like what they did back then was like practice swordplay. That's what they did for fun, or go to their crops or go to the market for the day because it was a day ride on a horse.
Who's this like?
Back in those medieval times.
Okay. I thought you were talking about the Chinese.
That's why I said I'm not trying to get like deeper now. Well, back in some time.
Back in the day, they used to play with swords and go to.
Yeah, 5 years ago. That's why all this shit's getting banned.
This is crazy.
No, but like how like where we're at society, where like we're bored when we're watching TV and stuff because now we're at such a point where we have to interact our minds.
Yeah, that's true. There's a lot of stimulation, and I'm
Well, I'm one of them. That's why I realized that too. Like,
Yeah.
I can't just sit there and watch TV for hours. I gotta, because Megan asked the same thing. She's like, so you're falling asleep while you're watching TV, but when you go play a game, I was like, because I'm interacting with it. I'm doing stuff
I
with
actually had the same conversation with my wife.
it. Oh, really?
Swear to God, she's like, think we were talking about New Year's Eve and how I've fallen asleep on her all the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, and she was like, well, you fall asleep every time, but you can play video games up to like 1 o'clock, at night. And I'm like, oh, it's because I'm interacting. I'm trying to focus on a game. And, okay, so even if I play Pokemon or something like that, like I've been playing Eastward, trying to finish it up here, I'll fall asleep. It's because a lot of Eastward, like in Eastward, there's a lot of reading. There's not so much action, and and so is Pokemon. The same thing. It's kind of repetitive, like kill this Pokemon and then level up, grind. And grinding can be like slow, and your mind just kind of on just like repeat.
It's on autopilot right there at that point.
It's on repeat, and so basically, you can just kind of like just fall asleep.
Yeah.
And same thing with movies. You're just kind of sitting there, not really just being entertained. Not saying video but if I play, Fortnite or something, I really have to like focus. I'm alert because I got to pay attention to all the corners of the game.
It's a good thing you compared that with Fortnite, because that's what happens to me when I've been recently replaying Dragon Age Inquisition, and during all the story modes things, I'm like dozing and stuff like that. And because she said that too. She remembers back when I was playing Final Fantasy 12. She still shows the picture or finds it sometimes. I'm dozing off with the controller in my hands. But I'm during a story part. I'm like, I'm so fucking bored.
Yeah.
That I'm like, get past this. I want to kill shit and all that. That's why it's interesting that you said that with the whole Pokemon and Eastward thing. And I'm like, that's just what happens. I mean, and she's like, well, she didn't say like, am I boring or something? So she's like, so you're just bored at that point? I was like, no, it's not that I'm bored with like you or doing this or anything. It's just, I'm so content. I'm chill where I'm at.
Yeah.
Rather with, I'm also chill playing games, but my mind is being more stimulated because I have to pay attention to a certain subject or item.
Yeah. So in those first person shooter games, mostly
the biggest ones,
you have to pay attention. You have to be alert. You're like, okay, because you're on this like, I don't want to say adrenaline rush, but it's just like you have to be super Spidey senses style, kind of playing games.
Be super alert and stuff.
So you're always like, your mind's always thinking, it's like, oh, he might be over the ridge over there, so just crawl up, and you just gotta, or you're always continuously, even like if you're moving stuff with your hands, like that's even has a lot to do with you staying awake. And all those other games like Eastward does has his action game or action portions, so does Pokemon, but at the same time those games kind of not like, they're not like
there's downtime.
They're not visually, I guess,
it's as intense as those shooter games. Yep. I totally know what you mean.
I see where I can stay awake. And also too, there's a going into another topic, because that's what we like to do on this podcast. There's a big thing too there, because I was trying not to do it, but to being in your bed and being in your bed or being on a comfortable couch while you are reading things. Supposedly there was this like I guess he's like, I forgot what he was, but there was this guy on this podcast. He was talking about how he doesn't read in the bed, he doesn't read on the couch, he doesn't read anywhere that's comfortable. He reads like in a chair or something like that, or the desk, strictly because when you do that, you're getting into this, you're conditioning your brain to anytime you're going to read something, it's, oh, now we're relaxing. And you shouldn't do that. And this is, that's why you fall asleep so much when you're trying to read.
Oh, to combat the falling asleep thing.
So basically, so I was like, I'm like, I'm trying not to ever bring the, the DS to the couch or anything like that. So I'm trying to like stand up or something and do some random shit. Just so I condition my brain to not remember, okay, now I'm reading and you're going to start falling asleep. So I've caught myself where I even, like sense. If I got comfortable and I'm like reading a comic book at a time, like I'll fucking almost doze off. And I'm like, what the fuck just happened here?
It's funny because Megan's done that a lot. She can lay in bed and read for quite a while, but oh my God, almost like 90% of the time I'll go in the room, hour later she's out.
Yeah.
With the book left open at the spot for her. You know?
Yeah. And if you really want to enjoy reading, I think that's what the guy was getting at. He says, just to get yourself focused, it's a bad habit to get comfortable and read. It's better to be uncomfortable and then read.
Or at least like somewhat just not having something jabbed in your back or something. And
just the way he was describing it, he says he was just like, a lot of people condition themselves to read in the bed, read on the couch, get comfortable, read. And typically they fall asleep. It's because your brain is now if you try to read somewhere else, you kind of see yourself dozing off. It's because your brain's automatically thinking, it's like, oh, we're getting comfortable now. Let me start shutting off shit.
Yeah. Because that's what happens to me when I look at my phone in bed. Even though people say that you shouldn't because it keeps you up, it does the opposite to me. It puts me to sleep.
It doesn't. Your body would just overtake it. And they brought that topic up too. It was like falling asleep with your phone in your hand. Yeah, and then you think the blue light would be enough, but
no. I turn that protective thing on or whatever because I do that with a computer too because I like there's a setting for that because I believe that fucks your eyes.
Oh, it doesn't. It stimulates you in a different way.
That's what I mean. Like it. Yeah. So when I turn it off, I don't feel as like
Yeah. So that's that whole, that's that whole thing about like fighting against nature. What your body naturally tries to do. Like
fuck my body, man.
Yeah, because your body is so used to, it's gotten thousands and thousands of years of waking up when the sun comes up. But yet you try to keep the blue light in your face, which is almost basically mirroring the sunlight, and expect to stay up.
Yep.
Your body's like, what the fuck are you doing? And then I think it's starting to get to the point, maybe not our generations, but many, many generations if we're going down the road, and they're going to be just basically, I don't know, what do you want to be? What's the word? Not immune to it, but basically immune to it.
Oh, I see. Accustomed and used to
it. Or
desensitized. I get what you mean though.
To the blue light on your phones, and it's not going to affect them anymore.
It's going to be.
But they could be harmful too. You can be sleeping in daylight and just fucking falling asleep.
Yeah.
Because I think that maybe that was a survival tactic, like, oh, lights on. Wait, it's time to wake up. Your body's naturally waking up.
Yeah.
They make alarm clocks like that. Did you know that?
What's that?
They're not alarm. They don't go by sound. They just go by light. So as it gets closer to the timer that you're trying to get up at, the light will get brighter and brighter and brighter.
Oh.
So
I can see that working. Yeah, especially for me.
Yeah.
I can't stand
it was I know people are not really typically on this, but there's this guy. He's pretty famous. He's his name Matt Frazier, and he has one of those light things.
Oh, okay.
And he's like 5-time, CrossFit champion and shit like that. Dude makes a lot of fucking money. He makes he's got like a supplement stuff, a book, and people are paying him to coach them because he's like a 5-time champion.
So he's well known.
He's well known, but then he talked about that one time on the podcast that he has that light. He said he doesn't use an alarm anymore. He just uses that light thing. He says his rooms are, and I get in so many arguments with my wife about that, and she has no understanding. And she was just like, because she gets migraines a lot, and I try to fucking tell her, it's like, get off your fucking phone. She even before when we were dating, when we were starting to date, I noticed she didn't put her dimmer on her phone, and I'm like, why don't you have the dimmer on? That could be hurting you. And she's like, well, I didn't want to put it on there. It's like, that could be causing your migraines.
It's proven.
It could be causing your migraines because you're staring at your phone all the time.
That's why they make those fucking gamer glasses. It's not to be a joke. It's really because those blue lights get to you after a while.
Yeah, and the screen time and I'll try to explain to her. I'm like, screen time for you could be, I don't know, as much as migraines she get, there has to be a breaking point. There has to be a breaking point for you. Like, I don't know. For me, if I was a person and I got as many migraines as her, there'd be a dramatic change in my lifestyle. But no.
Yeah, you would try something different.
Yeah, not with her. She's full blown just keep going. And I'm like, okay. But no, that's one of the biggest things I tell her about is like, you know, turn the lights off before we go to bed an hour or stuff like that. And she doesn't want to believe it. So I'm like, okay. And I'm not super affected by it that I know of, that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
But I know there's so many studies that people turn off lights an hour before they go to bed. They're not on their phone an hour before they go to bed. You know, they're just cool and calm and stuff like that. You know, trying to wind down, getting your body to get into the rhythm of going to bed. And not her. She just boom. And I feel like my boy's gonna be the same way because we do a ritual, like he gets an hour TV in the morning and an hour TV at night. But again, maybe that nighttime stuff could be fucking with him, giving him nightmares or something. I don't know. I don't think there's rare occasions where he wakes up screaming.
I think it can trigger. I think the only thing I can come back up from his memory is with that when it comes to TV and stuff like that. That's why, like, I don't know. I'm a whole believer that the TV thing is fine with it. It doesn't do as much negative.
I don't know. I think it does.
I mean, kids are going to be living on their phones in 10 years here. So
yeah, but I mean, it's got to do something, right? There's got to be something about the.
Well, it stimulates the brain, obviously.
Yeah. So like, and I don't think kids can handle like. Okay, for prime example, last night because he was up and we were just trying to calm him. So we played this like snowman movie for him. It's like an old movie. It's just old drawing. It's like really weird, but it's like an old snowman movie. Probably made in the 80s or some shit. But either way, there's always this scene and he knows it's coming. And I realized that I was like, he doesn't watch this movie. Maybe he watches this movie like every other day or something like that.
So he knows when a part's coming.
He knows when a part's coming and the parts he doesn't like. So he runs into the kitchen.
That's actually that's showing his memory is working really well.
That's what I was thinking last night. I was like, how does he fucking know that? I was like, how does he know that this scene like? But it's like a couple minutes before the scene comes up.
Yep, that's why I'm saying that's amazing.
Runs off. So like he'll be sitting on the couch perfectly watching this movie, and then he'll like sit there, and then he'll realize and then he'll like kind of perk up, turn around, slide off the couch, and then come and run to the corner of the room, and then he runs out of the room, runs into the kitchen, and he's behind the TV, or he's not behind the TV, but he's behind the table, and through the table of the chairs of the legs and stuff, he can see the TV, the corner of the TV. So he sits crouched and watches it, and it's like the snowman scene. So what's happening is the snowman is coming inside the house for the first time, and the kid's letting him in there, but the snowman sees the cat and he tries to pet the cat, and the cat like screams and then runs off, right? So he doesn't like that part. And as soon as that scene's over, he runs out of the kitchen, comes back on the couch, sits down. There's a couple movies where he does that with too.
You should really toughen him up and show him Faces of Death.
No, yeah, yeah, yes. I don't even. Oh my god, that is such a creepy movie.
To really get the intensity of that joke, sure, we'll call it a joke. Look up Faces of Death.
No, don't look up Faces of Death.
Let's be really graphic.
Yeah, it is like. I mean, I don't know. The funny thing is, a lot of that's. I don't even know.
Well, a lot of that people think is fake. A lot of it, dude, because it's supposed to be touted as really real. Dude smashing a monkey's head in with a hammer, but everyone's like, "Oh, that monkey's dead." Blah blah blah. So.
I don't know if I saw the same one as you, because
there's Faces of Death. There's like a 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, maybe that's the one. I maybe didn't see the monkey one. I saw it a while back when I was like.
Yeah, it's like an 80s movie.
Is it in?
It's like an 80s, early 90s or something like that.
I thought it was in the late 90s or something. I saw one that said Face of Death and where that guy gets hit by the train.
Yeah, that could be a later one.
The lady gets like smacked by the train. Because she was like stupid enough thinking she can, like, it was like a bus station and then everybody was running across and the train was coming and she thought she was going to be able to stop, or not be able to. She thought she was going to be able to beat it. Then she realizes she can't. She's not going to beat it, so she stops. Like you can see her, both feet stop, and she slides just enough into the side of the train, and it smacks her. She goes flinging. not like full on, like, but she's like, not her body gets smacked, but her face, because she stops, and you know how when you stop with both feet, you kind of do like this, like basically it's almost like you bow yourself forward, like your head and your feet go forward.
Yeah, because of the
so your body shifts to balance itself. So, but she hits her face, like you can see her face, but she gets hit pretty hard. Like her body still flies, but her whole body didn't get hit, just her face, just her head. And you're like, oh my God. So maybe she's dead, maybe she's not, but she got hit really hard. I don't know what she was thinking. I don't know. She was running in heels, so I don't even know why she thought.
So she's running in heels, and she's all like,
and then she stopped. She realized, oh, I'm not gonna make. I don't even know. Like, if I saw a train slides, yeah, because she was. You know how the sidewalk slides up,
yeah,
and then slides down when you go over railroad tracks. So she's running on the sidewalk, and you can see her. It's like, what are you doing, bitch? Like, it was like, and you see the train coming, and it's literally like not even 30 feet away, maybe 20 feet away. And I don't know why she thought she was gonna be able to jump and roll and make it. I'm like, whatever. And so then she realized, oh, I'm not gonna make this. And then she like stops, but she's sliding with both feet. And then she tries to balance herself. You know how your head goes forward, your body naturally tries to even itself out from the weight. So then her head's poking forward, and it gets hit by the side of that train.
She's gotta be dead.
That train was moving fast. I don't know why. I don't know why she thought she was gonna beat that train. It was ridiculous. Whoa. So that was I thought that was gruesome, but there was some other stuff in that. Kids, don't watch that. It is by far the worst. You don't need to watch it. It's not. It's ridiculous. I don't know.
I'm not trying to be morbid, but like just the fact that you're.
You're laughing. That's I have. You were like you're ridiculous.
The slide motion. Just kept thinking of the music playing.
Wow.
Oh, you gotta find the light in things, you know.
No,
because it's pretty dark.
It is really dark. Going back to our topic. So I mean, I think there's been really big movements in China with all this banning now, and there's not a real big explanation other than Chinese reporters saying that it was the games that were being released on Steam are like basically against their morals, so China decided to ban them. But I guarantee you it has to do with a lot of what China, well, obviously China's a communist country, and they're really restricting on what people are trying to play and what games they need to be playing.
Well, that's what I was going to say earlier. They talk about this devotion game. I don't know what this is, but they talk about how, and I hate this shit so much. The horror game infamously removed from Steam for disparaging references to Xi Jinping. Xi Jinping. I apologize if I'm butchering that, which I probably am. So I hate that shit. And that's one of those things where I'm like, I like games that don't fucking censor themselves on that shit, such as like the most controversial video game moment is one of them is the one where you're at the it's called like No Russian or something like that from Modern Warfare 2. Where you're a bunch of terrorists who go into an airport and shoot.
Oh, I remember that when they released that.
And that's not like, you know, they didn't ban Modern Warfare 2. They didn't do anything. And that was.
Were you the terrorist?
You were the terrorist. Yeah. Shit. And then the thing is that's not too long. That was in the same like 10-year span of 9/11. You know. Yeah. So it didn't sit well with a lot of people, but like you got this shit where you reference someone wrong in a video game, and so it's got to get taken out because the government is so fucking whacked. It's one of the few times where I'm like with the very much extremist governance people here. Like, at least you live in this country and you're free and you're not over there, you know. Well,
I mean, a lot of their streamers do play a lot of games from Steam.
Absolutely.
So that's a lot of, they took in a lot of people's revenue away. I don't see, when I was reading the article, I was also realizing that I was like, Jesus Christ, they're gonna be like, these nerds all got a gun or knives or whatever the hell they're allowed over there, they are definitely gonna be try to take over this country. Because that's a lot of people. I mean,
Well, they got put in lockdown again because of the whole Omicron shit.
yeah, but it's just well, my thing is like China in general, the population definitely outweighs the government, and I don't understand how these people feel so suppressed to where they think they can't uprise against them.
I think it's because the already suppression they have. When you like, you gotta look at when you look at USA compared to China. USA already has a bunch of like freedom fighters, you know, Proud Boys and stuff who are ready to go against the government whenever because the whole Second Amendment bullshit where I can bear arms to go against the government if the government's ever against me. But China has been consistently oppressed from their government all the time. If you slander any type of political person, they'll take you in. You can't talk bad about the government or anything like that.
But it's what I don't understand is just human understanding of each other, right? And the idea is that, say, if there was an uprise, you know, like Hong Kong's being really, you know, weird right now. You know, they're being really suppressed, and it's Hong Kong, right, that they're trying to take back. Right?
I could not tell you.
I'm pretty sure. Hopefully, somebody fact check me. But either way, so but that's a big thing. Those guys are uprising, but they're such a small portion of the whole country, China. So they're gonna get outweighed so hard. But I'm just saying, if the whole country decides to be like, "Hey, fuck you guys, we had enough. Now we're just gonna uprise."
Yeah, that's true.
So, and that's what I don't understand. Is like, I get that military people, they have their military, but like, if your mom is uprising, you think you're gonna shoot your mom or your brother or your cousins or anything like that? No one's gonna fucking do that. I'm not gonna shoot my cousin. I'm like, I'm on your side. I don't give a shit if this is my job or I have to protect the government.
That piece, yeah.
Yeah, there's like, I don't understand where there's that common ground where like people are understanding. It's like
Just
you're
unite.
not just fighting. Like if you're in the military and then you're trying to obey their you know laws and you're trying to basically do what they order you to do, like something's got to click in you as a human being. It's like, oh, that's my neighbor, you know, whatever. She's really nice. I'm not gonna fucking shoot her. Fuck you guys, you know, or like something like that's got to click in people's brain because they're doing this big gaming thing and. I don't know. I think some people go through gaming withdrawals.
I'd be pissed about the whole 3-hour thing they did.
Oh, the kids? I mean, but that's different though. That's just for kids. Kids don't really
It's
like
younger than 18, I thought.
Yeah, so but yeah, younger than 18, but you got to understand when you're a kid, a lot of kids get so many rules.
I think that's just
bullshit.
one step closer to getting across that boundary, just like how they say here, oh, the masks are one more step from them telling you can't go out and do this, blah blah blah.
I don't want to get on that mass topic.
I'm just comparing it.
Yeah, okay.
But I think that's how that thing can go down. Because I mean, imagine that fucking shit happened here. Imagine if whether it was Trump, Biden, Obama, whoever, their political group, their government said kids 18 or kids 17 and under have like 5 hours a week. Do you think that would even fucking remotely stay and go? That's what I mean. Like when comparison to what you're saying with how many Chinese people there are, I mean, there's 14, 15, 16-year-olds nowadays, even in America, who don't fucking take shit from nothing. Yeah. They take a lot of shit in their own hands.
Yeah, man, but I don't know. It's just so odd, man. That is the oddest.
Odd is just the beginning way to describe it. But like,
how are they gonna ban a whole fucking company like that from them allowing access to that country? But it's like gaming is not hurting anybody.
According to them, it is.
So, but the crazy thing is, here's the thing is, they would probably want gaming because then these gamers don't give a shit what's going on politically wise, right?
Sure.
They don't care about politics. They wouldn't be out there uprising. They wouldn't be up there. You know, it's sad to say, but that's the way you can control them, is literally letting them do their mindless video games.
Oh, it's ever since the 40s. It's media. Media can.
So you can control these people so easily that way. Just let them play the video games. They're forgetting about the real world and just, that. Mm-hmm. You let them play their video games. They're gonna be, they're not gonna be successful. I'm not saying every video game person is not successful, but But you know what I mean? I'm just saying they're just
Like they're going to be normal people.
they're just gonna be sitting there playing hours and hours of video game, and that's it.
Yeah,
So, but they're not gonna be so involved with the community, and they're not gonna be so involved for, you know, hey, they don't like that, or hey, you know, why are we doing this? You know, type of stuff. Now you're removing that from them, and they have nothing left. So now I'm thinking those people are gonna get involved more. You're gonna see more like an uprising, like, oh, what the fuck's going on? What? Then it's like, okay, I don't play video games anymore. I can't play any of my favorite ones anymore. So okay, I'm just gonna do this.
That part I think is rather true, that they're gonna go down different avenues.
Because no one's gonna start playing another video game, the ones that like Dota and stuff, just because, you know, if they like Dota before, then they would play it. But if they didn't like Dota before, they're not gonna fucking play it.
Yeah.
Because there's a guarantee that they played Dota at one point, just didn't like it, and it's not their jam. They're not gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna stop playing. You know, I loved Grand Theft Auto, and I can't fucking play this game because it was mostly on Steam. So I'm not gonna play Dota, and like I hate fucking Dota. And they're just gonna do nothing, and then they're just gonna be like, well, they're gonna be more aware what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
So like as a communist country, I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want my fucking people to be like, oh hey, what the fuck is this? Or be more alert, and then you got more people like, you're gonna get me because you upset them. That's one fucking thing you did. Two, I mean, I don't care. You're a human. You're just a person. If they take something away from you that you like a lot, it doesn't matter if you're an oppressed person and they're like from their country, and you're like, I don't fucking like that. Why'd they do this? You know.
I think it's the censorship piece too. Like I just thought about that with that thing they said with how they depicted one of the leaders. It's like, at least they're not as bad as North Korea. Like North Korea, like this year at one point they allow like some movie or some other stuff to not be viewed because the way it makes fun of the leader before now, Kim Jong-un the second or something or whatever.
Young is the new one, right?
That's why it's this
Young and
Ung, I thought was the one before. I don't know, but the dude who they always have pictures everywhere, and they actually have a national holiday to mourn his thing, like where for 2 hours or something like that, you can't do shit besides mourn or some shit like that. That just happened recently. Yeah,
that's sad that they have to do that.
Oh, that's fucking. That country is probably one of the worst developed countries in the world.
North Korea's developed? I dispute that.
As in, like, they have TVs and stuff like that.
I think it's TV in one fucking house.
But you get what I mean.
I don't know. I think the pictures they shown of North Korea.
I didn't say first world. I just said developed. That's all.
I don't even think it's that developed. I think a lot of people fucking are living in fucking shacks in that place. That country's shit. And there's only like a very small portion of that place that has like electricity or internet, or it's shown a lot.
Most of the city, yeah.
They've kept that place in the dark. Fucking.
Well, no, my point still stands that that's true. They've been in the dark. It's a shithole of a place. But yeah. I think China's going to roll to that avenue to where, like, if you don't, because like. They say like if you can't smile in pictures when you get pictures with the leader, only the leader can smile, no one else can smile. If you look, there's a lot of pictures with a leader smiling, but there's a group of like 40 women, they're not allowed to smile in the picture.
That's stupid.
It's fucked up, dude. It's terrible.
Stupid.
That's when and it's the way China's rolling. I
don't know if it's terrible, but I just think it's stupid. It makes no sense. Why? Just because the women are smiling?
Well, like, I mean, they would be punished. That's the part where I think it's fucked up.
Oh no, that's horrible.
Yeah, they would. Yeah, it's stupid. I just don't understand it.
I don't understand that concept.
And the problem that I have with that is how we wanted to try and even like become allies with them in that point.
North Korea?
Fucking when Trump was in president. I'm not gonna get into that deep. I just think that's fucked up.
I think he was trying to patch up things, and that makes sense. If he could patch up North Korea and South Korea, that's cool.
Yeah, that's fine.
I understand, but would you rather not have like try to patch shit up with them and just be like, hey man, and just like so like you have a crazy Trump friend. And then you're like, hey man, the world isn't flat. Let's go take a walk and we'll see how. Or if you like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that, but
whatever.
But you know what I mean, like just like QAnon.
Yes,
guy. If you have a QAnon friend,
I want to.
And then he's like fucking left field. He's not even playing baseball anymore. This motherfucker's playing just croquet in the 2 stadiums away, and you're like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah,
and
it's
then,
I just hate that he's like, let's patch things up after I made all these threats to you, and after I saw that you could actually build a rocket, and it failed, whatever. But like, my point about that is like, you want to try to become allies. He said that he wanted to try to become allies with a fucking tyrant that fucking country is.
Yeah.
And how they treat their citizens, and how, because if you look at South Korea versus North Korea, it is more than night and day. It is more.
Yeah.
It is fucked up. And that's as far. I don't want to get deep into that. I don't want someone to fucking message, hey, I see who you're voting for in 2024.
Okay. For Kim Jong-un? That's who you're voting for? I don't understand. Either way,
yeah, I'm a sleeper.
I mean, I get what he was trying to do. I totally understand what he was doing. I never had a problem with it. I mean, I get he's trying to ally with them, but I'd rather just try to make friends with the enemies rather than just stay enemies with them. Just strictly because I mean, it's those international politics are just so ridiculous. I don't know, man. I think a lot of that stuff is those communist countries that are controlling people is sad. It's super sad. And I don't
condone him for his action of that. I condone him of how he handled the whole situation before and after.
Oh, okay.
That's why I want to be specific
what I'm just trying to say is that those communist countries, it's ridiculous. You can't enjoy your life. I mean, let's just be honest. Life is kind of rocky right now. And if these older gentlemen wanted to play Steam and play a new Steam game, they have that option to escape. And it's probably not practical to do that as a human being to use video games for your escape. Maybe you should deal with your issues, but at the same time, I mean,
I don't know.
Is video games a cheaper therapy than actually seeing a therapist?
Oh, I wholeheartedly believe that. Yeah,
but I mean, it's not really like it's not technically helping the issues. It's just kind of suppressing it. I agree with that all the time. Like, video games do not help you solve your problems. It just suppresses it.
I wouldn't say solve, but I do absolutely believe it.
It's like a pacifier, if you want to say.
I think it helps you cope with life in general. I mean, the WHO even said that. So
who?
The World Health Organization.
What the fuck is that?
The people.
I was
like, because they flip flop. They went to the part like 5 years ago where they're like, gaming is not that healthy, and then they did all these studies with Harvard and Yale, and they found out
they just know it keeps the crazy people away.
They found out that like it actually does a lot. But I believe with you, with like, you just don't like, oh fuck, I have crippling debt.
I'm a gamer since I was a kid. I have nothing against video games, but I think okay. Yeah. But I think video games are not healthy for unstable people. I really think it's very super unhealthy. And a lot of older generations think that it rots their brain. In reality, again, I go back to the issue. Too much video games, and that could be the reason why China's doing this. I mean, one of the reasons is that they said the reporters said
only reason
it's because of the moral thing, and they also launched their own variant of Steam in China, so that could be also one of their power plays. Where like, well, if Steam's making so much money, we can make money too. But
it's a subsidiary of Steam. That's why I just don't understand.
Yeah, but it's also like Netflix, right? Netflix has the adult version and you got a kids version. So they're doing the exact same thing. They're trying to give everybody in China kids versions of Netflix. So they're like, oh, you can get these games with us. You don't have to play those other games because those games are whatever. They're not controlled by us. So they're just like, fuck it, we just ban the whole network. But so what I'm trying to say is that, going back to the issue, where I'm saying is that maybe they see it that way, where they think that a lot of these mental ill people that are not actually fixing a problem are going to become a problem eventually. And also too, they lifted the ban on having more than one kid. They realized that they're kind of put themselves in a shit show. I think that country's going to go downhill really fucking soon in the next 20 years because, for one, their male to female ratio is definitely significantly off balance. And they're the only people that are going to be able to take care of themselves, like Japan, exactly what Japan is having right now. They're saying that their oldest or their generation, when they get old, like our generation, like people in the 30s, are going to be taking care of old people while we are old. Does that make any sense? Because people are living so much longer and nobody's having any kids. So the old are going to be taken care of by the old.
Well, they're too healthy. That country's too healthy.
Too healthy?
Yeah, they're one of the healthiest countries in the world.
Who told you that shit?
It's just look it up. You can look. They're one of the healthiest countries in the world. The problem they're having is people. They don't have enough. They don't have enough immigrants.
What are you talking? No.
Japan has had a very strict immigration piece in the last 4 years.
You're a damn liar.
You do know if you go there and if a owner of, like, say, a restaurant or something shakes their head at you because they don't know English well or some other form.
They love Americans.
Nope, they do not. They do not.
Okay.
No, they do not.
We didn't bomb their ass to not like them? Okay.
There's half
Two nukes could have told you that they love us.
That's...
Isn't that how you get somebody to like you? I don't know.
Yeah, half the country there does not welcome immigrants. They don't welcome tourists or anything. They actually will not let you into your building. Some of them will not let you into their establishment.
I think I heard that one though. And if you don't speak Japanese, I remember
that's another big one. But yeah, it's like and there's no medium between it. Last night, because when I was reading this, watching this documentary and reading all this shit, you're probably gonna read that whole thing I said about the last 4 years. They've had an immigration problem. Because you got on your phone.
I don't even know.
But that's been their thing. They don't have, all they have is Japanese people.
We need a person in here to fact check us. We need a third party in here.
I just say shit that I look on documentaries and then when I see something on documentaries, I read.
They said immigrants. They had an immigrant. They don't allow.
They don't have enough immigrants. They don't have enough Americans. They don't have enough, say Germans, Europeans, anything like that.
And nothing. Oh, that's what I was like. What is the household in Japan? Isn't that what you want to say?
No.
Not the household.
What are you talking about?
There's what is it called? It's called family ratio, maybe.
What the fuck?
So the ratio in how many people in a family, like
the ratio?
Yeah, the ratio. Sorry.
Oh, I don't know what that is in Japan.
I thought it was 0. I thought it was like zero kids per household.
Oh, you mean like how China had the rule with the one kid? Is that what you're kind of talking about? Like what was Japan's thing?
Japan had eventually gone, because I was literally watching this whole fucking documentary about speed dating. They're like, Japan's talking about how they've been implementing these speed like dating, like the government's involved. That like Japan is, Switzerland, then like Switzerland has a program where you can go on a cruise to meet other single people. And this cruise is only dedicated to single people.
It says there's no children policy, family policy in the country of Japan.
It's not a policy. Not saying there's a policy.
Well, I was just seeing if there also is that. But are you wanting to know like the ratio of men to women?
Yeah,
per
like
household?
so in Japan it's 0. I'm pretty sure like it's 0 kids per household, and in Britain it's down to half. And so in Switzerland, it's also 0. Here in America, we're down to 1.5.
Oh, wow. Just in general, in 2020, male to female ratio for Japan was 95.41 males per every 100 females.
Oof.
So there's for every, pretty much for every one male, there's 5 females is the way I read this.
Yeah, man. That's like, so I was trying to say that. So then this documentary that I was watching, it was like a little. It's not. I don't even know what you want to call it. Is it a short documentary? It's a piece, a video piece that like Vice does. What are those
I know
called?
what you're talking. Those little. They have long things, which the whole thing, and they have clips of it.
No, not clips of it. Just they're like 30-minute episodes or whatever. They're not. Are they considered documentaries? Okay, I don't know.
Sure.
Typical documentaries that I've seen in the past are about an hour to 2 hours long. You know what I mean? So these Vice pieces, they come out on YouTube. They're typically maybe 30, 45 minutes long. So I didn't know if that's what I'm saying. If there's a time length to actually call it a documentary, or I don't know. I'm not a scientist, so I wouldn't tell you.
You know, it's 10:41.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh shit! All right, we're gonna wrap this up. I gotta be at the store, and I'm gonna be late. So typically we kind of went on a rant today about communist China and how we should.
Yay, communist China!
How they're just terrible to their people, not let them free will.
Yeah, that's why I want to love Jackie Chan because he's Jackie Chan.
Yeah,
but
he's super Chinese. Well, back then, right? But I don't know. That's the thing is,
he's big he's big Chinese propaganda, like with the government.
Oh,
but I think.
Shit! You don't want to fuck with your money. China will kill you.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Here's a little bit because he loves America, but he has touted about there's things about America he doesn't like, which we all do that. But he always touts up Chinese policies and Chinese government. But what you just said there's been a lot of people who have, I guess, said things from interviews that he's seen that are like not really on the front, like Jimmy Kimmel and shit like that. That like he's kind of has to be that way.
Oh yeah,
and I feel that
they did that to John Cena recently. Remember that?
Oh yeah,
they fucking China was like, what? What'd you say about Hong Kong?
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, we're gonna pull everything from you. We don't want to deal with nothing with John Cena. And then I think it was WB was like, you're gonna get back on the internet and you're gonna apologize, and this is what you have to read. Yeah. And it looked like he was in like those videos where he's a hostage. And they're like, the guy is pointing a gun at his fucking favorite dog. And he doesn't have any kids. That's why I said dog. But he doesn't have a family. He's just a single man. I mean, he was going to get married, but then he got divorced. That was a whole sad thing. But either way, they have his dog, and then just about to shoot a fucking dog if they don't read the fucking screen. And it's crazy that they did that. Like, they just literally fucking got a stranglehold on you. It's like, because they're number one consumers. But I'm a big, this is just getting into politics, but I'm super huge in pulling away from China. Like, why do we need, we don't need them. We never did. I get that they're the biggest, populated country.
Well, because Apple has all the sweatshops there, but every country does.
I don't give a shit, man. And that's one. I think that's one of the biggest problems too. There's too many individual people trying to do their individual things here, and then we're trying to just for a little bit, guys. Let's get along, just come together, work together, and then we can make this country great again, right?
Oh, just the biggest ironic thing I always thought was those "Make America Great" things. And he was touting how he wanted to get away from China all the time. Yeah, but they were all made from China.
Yeah, I don't get, man. I'm just trying to say that I think we need to pull away. There's a reason why our founding fathers did not like international shit. They did not like. So we need to stay away from international business, politics. That's none of our affairs. I mean, that was one of the biggest reasons.
And religion.
That was one of the biggest things that that we were in like World War II. We were just trying to stay out of it until they fucking bombed us, and we were like, you bitch ass motherfuckers.
Really think about that too. That's
we wanted to stay the fuck away from that. Like, we really did not want nothing to do with it, and that it was a good policy. But who was it? FDR. FDR was the one in charge in that whole situation. That's why he's voted one of the greatest president.
I want to say our foot was there. It was at the door.
No, we were helping France and Britain.
Yeah,
we were sending the supply stuff because they were allies with us, but we were sending, because there was one other incident in Pearl Harbor as we had a supply we had a supply ship get sunk on the way to France.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is, like, we didn't really want it to be like, hey, we're gonna back you up with military. Kind of we saw what World War One did, and then we were like, well, we don't want to get another one. And then FDR was like, I'm not fucking interfering with these holes.
I thought the bomb. I'm one.
And then Japan was like, whoa, hey, what's going on over here? It's like, that was a whole like. That's, I think the most, and it's not my favorite. I'm not saying it's a favorite. I think
top 5 favorite war crimes.
No, it's like one of the most interesting things that we've ever been to war to is with that Asia area. It's like super crazy how we've had.
You mean like Korea and Vietnam? And
like Vietnam, Korea, and then how we invaded all those islands around Japan and stuff like that. And like the interaction and how they fought when we fought, and like it was significantly different. And it was like, even like when they bombed Pearl Harbor, that was a suicide mission.
Yeah, because
it was insane. Like they flew they were on empties.
Yeah,
they were like this is a one-way trip.
The kamikaze pilots.
So they were like, we're just gonna do what we can do, and we know we're not coming home. But it's just so crazy how like their mindset and like how they were fighting compared to like when we had to deal with like the Germans and all the different other. I think who else was with Germany on the European front?
Gosh, that's the thing. That's like, I should know it because they call it the axis of evil or whatever.
The axis of evil.
I can't remember.
It was a couple of them. Everybody just talks about Germany and
Japan and China. I thought China might have. I couldn't.
China
remember.
was not with them.
Were they our allies at that time, or they were just neutral?
I think they were neutral because they were like.
I feel dumb for not remembering this.
Because the funny thing is that Japan was invading China and they were big bullies. You believe that little fucking island was bullying that big ass country?
Well, I mean, they have samurai ninjas, so
yeah. I
mean, even now they believe in that, which I wholeheartedly respect. I think that's fucking baller.
But yeah, it's crazy. Japan was insanely. They were the big bullies. They were like the little brother that somehow still big bullied a lot of that, like that area there. That like you go from China down to like Thailand and go down to like South Korea. That's why South Korea fucking hates Japan. They hate them so much since World War II. They took their women, they were raping their people, and they were just like, and it was like some of those survivors. Remember, there was a big thing like a couple years ago, maybe not a couple years ago, maybe like 5 or 10 years ago, where they went to Japan, officially apologized for all the war crimes they did to South Korea, and then there were some survivors. Some lady survivors from the whole thing. They were talking about how they were put in these camps, and these camps were basically for Japanese men to come and rape them.
Oh, wow.
It was fucking insane. I was like, what? They made a camp just for that? It was crazy. So they were like, South Koreans do not like Japan.
At the time?
Yeah. I think they still have a little thing about them right now.
Oh.
I think because that generation is still not gone away because they lived till like 200.
I will say,
but that was a big thing too. So that's why you had during World War II, you had a lot of pilots and a lot of incidences where so you remember how during World War II to get Japan, we tried to take a lot of the little islands outside of there. So to take them over, but there was a lot more smaller islands with a lot of inhabitants. Those inhabitants will go around to these wreckages and see this like planes and boats and stuff, and they would see. There was a story that he was telling a story on this interview where he was a pilot. His plane got shot down, and he was in this ocean, and there was all this debris and stuff, and he saw a boat. Just a fisherman going through there, and he saw that he was chopping the heads off of these people, and then he just put it in the boat, and he thought he was gonna die. And like he said he couldn't fight this guy off, so then the guy pulls up next to him, pulls him on the boat. He thought he was going to die, and the guy helps him. And then he later explains that they only hate the Japanese because their Japanese had come to their islands and bullying them and basically killing them and doing shit to them. So the guy was actually only taking heads of the Japanese, and he saved the Americans because he wanted to save them. He knew Americans were going to come there and help him.
Oh, gotcha.
Like the Philippines, same thing, same situation. So that's a lot of that stuff was just like where those islanders around Japan fucking hated Japan so much during World War II, they would kill any of the survivors that would in the water. And then they would save any American they could. It's so crazy. It's really cool. I thought that was like, man, Jesus Christ. But if you look at the history of Japan, they are super bullies. They're really big bullies. And that little area, and I was like, this little island is just bullying the fuck out of everybody.
It's amazing how to go from that to where they're at now, AD-ish, year later, where they're kind of just, nope, we just want to be about us, just exclusive.
I mean,
but their influences reach across the world, so and it's a media takeover with the animes and waifus and all that stuff, and they're getting these young men entrapped.
Yeah, it's insane. It's insane, man. I mean, they've taken on, like, one of the biggest things that's been happening in the last 5 years, 6 years. They've been taking on the East LA Chicano scene. I'm not fucking shitting you, dude. Look it up. You got these Japanese guys dressing up like cholos and shit, and I'm like, what the fuck? Vice did a little piece on it. I was like, what the fuck? I watched this like 2 years ago. They said even from 2 years ago, it's been like 4 or 5 years. They said it's been trending there. They love the LA look. They like the Chicano style, clothes, tattoos, and shit like that. And you can, not sounding racist, but you can't tell the difference. You really can't.
Oh, it's funny. It just kicked in my head. That's also why they talk about that immigration thing, because you see how that's a thing going on, because they don't have many people who can go there and represent other cultures.
I don't know why Japan would be against us coming over there.
Cultures. God damn, I couldn't say that word.
Yeah, they're so integrated with us. I mean, I don't know.
Like I said, it's. I would say it's like when I was looking at that, it was like half the countries. Like some of them were like, "Yeah, I'm all for this." Some of them were like, "Nope." I mean, look at fucking us. God, we can't stand that people are crossing a border.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
Take my job.
Well, there's plenty out there now. There's plenty out there, but no, man, getting off the topic.
We gotta get
China is ridiculous for banning Steam, and I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's early. Maybe there's nothing that's gonna happen from this. Like, no one. And the funny thing is, like, why Steam hasn't come out with a statement at all.
I don't know.
I've looked all morning this morning, and nothing has come about Steam. Steam didn't say shit. And they're like, oh, okay.
If we see more about this on the next podcast, we can
something.
I just want to say disclaimer. I don't know. I just feel like someone's going to be like, "Oh, I don't like your podcast. My kid listened to it, and you said the R word, or you talked about face of deaths." I don't give a shit.
What's the R word?
You said rape.
Oh,
like that can trigger some people. If you just don't like it, just don't listen.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to trigger.
No. I was just saying. It's just everything you see nowadays in the past everything triggers. I could say kumquat, and they're like, "Oh, that reminds me, I can't come."
Yeah, I mean it's a sensitive topic, but I'm just trying. It's a sensitive topic, but at the same time,
the thing is you're talking about, and even I don't even want to say even educational, but like you're talking to it in an explanatory manner. So about the past, my point is that one, I somewhat don't care. If you don't like it, just don't listen to the fucking podcast. I don't care. Wow. Two, we don't have a problem with any type of nationality or anything like that. We're talking about the China as a country, because I feel like one fucking individual,
wow, man,
will just be like, "You don't like China? I wasn't born there, but I'm Chinese."
What?
So that must mean you have a problem with me.
No,
that's not the case. We just don't like how they're fucking censoring people playing video games.
Yeah, any gamer should be upset about this. Because it's terrible. Because if someone were to take your video games away from you,
I'd cry.
It'd be terrible.
And I'd throw a tantrum, and I would take a shit on their doorstep.
See, I don't buy much from Steam, so I'm not really fucked by it.
So But yeah, so,
I don't have a PC.
Just when you said something about this last time, what was it? Last podcast, or even the one before our big break? The thing about that dude who said something. I don't know
About what?
The fucking black hair thing or something.
Oh my
just
God.
got me thinking, and I'm just like, I'm just so fucking sick of people because that's not the only time that happens. Someone said something, but they said more of just a passive funny tone. I'm just like, why even bring it up then? You obviously have a problem with it if you're gonna bring it the fuck up. It's two dudes who like gaming. We go on a rant. We go on these fucking separate tangents because we're fucking human, and we talk about things. If you don't like it, just don't listen to the fucking podcast.
So that's your dose of Aaron losing his shit in every podcast. Stay tuned to next week. So he'll lose his shit again about something random. Because last week it was about complaining in Commander. Today it's about don't listen to our podcast. And
why do you listen?
Why are you listening? Don't listen. Yeah, jackass. Wow.
You're not good at this. Why do you fucking listen?
You're stupid. You stupid person.
I love everyone.
Oh my God.
I love everyone.
But yeah, man, well, happy New Year's to everyone. Hopefully you have something cool going on tonight. You know, your typical cocaine and bitches.
Stay safe. Don't do nothing stupid. Or do something stupid.
Let me know if you know of any cocaine and bitches. So, that'd be
said
interesting.
Cocaine and bitches. You're making my kid want to get into cocaine and bitches.
Who's gonna get in? No, that's. I don't know. Maybe you can get into bitches, but not like cocaine. I think cocaine's hard to find. I don't know. I'm not looking for it, but
Kids, don't do cocaine because it's bad. Do it because it's expensive and it's hard to find.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Don't
listen.
do it.
I mean, how many times have you ever had somebody come up and was like, "Hey, man, want to do some cocaine?" Never. In
I've
my
had
life.
0 times.
Me
in my
too.
life.
Maybe we just don't hang out the right people.
It's like
right
the whole.
people.
It's like whole thing back in the day where like Dare was like, "You're gonna be on the streets one day, and one dude's gonna come up and ask, do you want a hit of this joint? And what do you do? Take a hit? No, you say no.
Oh yeah.
It's like that. It's like." I
How
thought
many
that was
encounters do we have?
That's
like
what I'm
that?
saying. I thought that was going to be more of a prevalent problem, like quicksand.
Yeah.
There's no
Every
quicksand.
fucking movie, there's quicksand in. Yeah, it's like I don't know, man. It's propaganda.
I'm not saying that doesn't exist in some form or fashion, such as Chicago, but or Gary, Indiana.
Ugh. No, there's meth there. That's it up crack.
All right, well, we just gotta keep going. Everyone have a good New Year's.
Yeah,
We'll see you next
happy
time.
New Year's, guys. Bye.
Bye.